another video. I hope you can hear me talking quiet because my kids are like 10 feet that way trying to get to bed. But they'll probably come out and have to be ushered back. I look like this. My house is a mess. Broken blinds, sheet on the window because those blinds were totally broken. So I have 2 toddlers. And I'm folding laundry. I was going to film this video when I got off work at 2:30, but I ended up having to work until 5:30. So now it's 9 o'clock at night, and we're doing this. I'm in my sweatpants. I'm not even trying to mess with my bangs today. So, yeah. This is real life. I know I get caught up in these, cause all I watch is like family vloggers. And I get caught up in the, oh, you have 8 kids, how do you get quiet time to make a video, or your house is so clean? Like, my house is never clean. My laundry is never done. My son wets the bed every night. There's always stuff to wash. And yeah, that's just not my reality right now. I'm sure I'm not the only one whose house isn't clean, who has a sheet on the window because we haven't gotten new blinds, and his laundry needs to be folded, and also wants to talk. So here I am. Tonight I thought we would talk about or have multiple ideas. Either how I found a midwife, baby update for the baby I'm currently pregnant with, or the labor and delivery of my daughter, my second child, since I've done my first one already. So I think tonight we'll go with the labor and delivery of my daughter. She was born in February of 2020, about 2 weeks before the world shut down, which was so stressful. It was very scary for me. I was convinced that my newborn baby was going to catch the virus and die. I'm already someone who suffers from postpartum anxiety. So with both of my children, I did not sleep for the first 3 days that they were alive, because I just get nervous. So anyways, her labor and delivery. So she was born at 42 weeks and 5 days, which is crazy because my son was born at 42 weeks, and I went into labor with him at 41 weeks and 4 days. So I went longer with my second, which isn't normal. I don't, for most people, go shorter with each subsequent kid. But my mother actually went longer with all 3 of her children. So I wasn't super surprised by that. So 42 weeks and 4 days that night. Around 9 p.m., just after my son went to bed and my husband went to bed, I was having contractions. And it was so funny, my mindset was so different the second time around. I was so like not in a hurry for anything. I wasn't really timing them. I laid on my couch, which usually has cushions on it, and just laid on my side and would hike my leg up as high as it would go. And I'd rotate between laying like that, bouncing on my exercise ball, and actually going to the bathroom. The contractions upset my stomach so bad. So from 9 p.m. until 11 p.m. they were steady. I couldn't even give you a time frame of how far apart they were. Like I said, I wasn't tracking them because with my son, as soon as I started tracking my contractions, they would go away. It's like I subconsciously got stressed out and would slow my labor. So I didn't track them at all. Finally, at 11 p.m. I was like, let me go get in bed, try to get some rest. I was watching Architectural Digest videos on YouTube, and I had never watched them before I was in labor and had not watched one since, which is so funny to me. It's like I just can't. It's traumatic or something. But I went and laid in bed, and the moment my body went horizontal in that bed, my water broke everywhere. So I woke my husband up. I was like, hey, my water just broke. I've been having steady contractions for a few hours. It's probably time to get the birth pool and stuff set up, because we had nothing ready, mind you. We had sheets on the couch, but that's it. I don't know if we thought because I wasn't sleeping on the couch. We had sheets on the couch. I don't really know why, but that's the level of preparedness we had. So I woke him up, he got up. I went to the bathroom to like clean myself up. I called my stepmom, who lives 5 minutes away, just to let her know, hey, it's go time. It was the middle of the night. I didn't know when the baby was going to be born. My son was asleep, so we let him stay. I had no intentions of him going unless he woke up and like was scared or whatever. So I called her just so she could be by the phone, basically. And then I called my midwife myself and was like, hey, my water broke. My midwife's 2 hours away. It's like, my water broke. My contractions are probably less than 5 minutes apart, lasting a minute to 2 minutes. And she was like, okay, I'll head that way. And then my doula lives about 45 minutes from me, so she called her as well. And then another midwife that was attending as well lived about 30 minutes away from me. So they all came at different times while Hunter was setting up the birth pool. They take a long time to blow up, and then they take a really long time to fill it with water. So water broke around 10 or 11 p.m. I called everyone. Everyone got here around 1 a.m. I was pretty chill for a while. I just bounced on my ball the whole time and kind of swayed. By the time they got here, my stomach wasn't upset anymore, thank goodness, because that was like kind of embarrassing, because like every few minutes I was going to the bathroom. And then once they got the birth pool full enough, I got in there. Now remember, I gave birth in the hospital, my first one, in a hospital bed, laying on my back like they do. So I didn't know if the birth pool was going to be something I liked or whatever, and it was a game changer. When you're in the birth pool, because the water's deep, the birth pool's tall, and I'm short anyways, and I have a short torso. So you're in the birth pool, it's got handles all around it, so you can hold on and bear down if you need to. You're weightless in water, right? So the only place I was feeling tension was in my abdomen and in my back where my contractions were, which is a world of difference than like sitting out in the normal world and contracting, because you're tense everywhere. Your body, you tense up everywhere. And so in the water, I was just able to let them go and flow and just hang out. And so after about an hour in the birth pool, I was having steady contractions, but nothing was really changing. My midwives and my doula, they were drinking coffee, all kind of chit-chatting to themselves. I was just kind of chilling. by myself. My husband was just kind of sitting by me, feeding me ice and popsicles, and we were just kind of chilling. And then my midwife walks in there and she's like, do you want to try to go to the bathroom or something? Like, I think you need to get out of the pool for a little while. So I did that. I got up and I went to the bathroom and I peed and I pooped, and then it was really on. So if your bladder is full, it can keep your body from contracting. And I think that's exactly what was happening, and she knew that because she's been a midwife forever. So I went to the bathroom and immediately I was in transition. So that was probably, they got here at 1, that was probably 4, maybe even later, 4:30 or something in the morning. And these times could be totally off. It was a year and a half ago, I don't remember that well. I know I was having contractions starting at 9 though, and I know what time she was born, so yeah, so I was in the bathroom and I sat in there for a long time just by myself, having really painful contractions that were just like rolling and rolling nonstop. And then eventually I was like, I'm gonna give birth on this toilet if I don't get out of this bathroom. So I got up, I opened the door, and immediately, I didn't fall to my knees, but I like fell on my knees in the hallway that's right here. And I just kind of started crawling, and then I went, I'm gonna throw up. And one of the midwives brought me a bowl. I puked in the bowl. I crawled over here right behind me, and my midwife had like a birth stool right there, which is like a horseshoe shape with the middle's out, which I think would be great to birth on too. It's a great position. Giving birth on the toilet is a great position to be in, to like open your hips and stuff, just by the way. And I was like on my knees, crouched down on the floor, holding on to the legs of that stool for a long time. Excuse me. And like I said, just non-stop contractions, the most painful ones I've ever had. And I looked at her and I said, can I get in the pool? And she was like, yeah, you can do whatever you want to do. And I got in the pool, and I would say not 5 minutes later, I had to push, and I was in so much pain and I had zero control over the pushing that I didn't even get the words out to tell them like I needed to push. I just looked at one of the midwives and like screamed, and my body started pushing, and it took 5 pushes. My son, it took 2. With her, it took 5 pushes. She was headborn first for a while. Her shoulders got stuck a little bit. I was just kind of in the pool on my knees, and then after the first push, I moved to my feet, but like crouched down, and I kept trying to stand up and like run away from the pain basically. And that's really dangerous, because if the baby's born above the water and then falls in the water, the baby can drown. So my midwife was like screaming at me to get back down, and she ended up, I didn't catch the baby because I was holding on to the side of the pool while I was bearing down. So she caught the baby behind me. I was screaming, so my son woke up. So my husband missed the birth of our daughter because he was comforting our 2-year-old at the time. And he wasn't even 2 yet, he was a year and a half old. Comforting our 18-month-old because he just heard his mom scream bloody murder a few times. And so she caught her when she was born at 5:21 a.m. and handed her to me. So I was like, I had the umbilical cord like wrapped around me. So we had to get that untangled after I kind of like settled down a little bit. Yeah, and then she sat on me as I sat in the pool, and my husband and my son came behind my head. And when she opened her eyes for the first time, the first person she saw was her brother. And it was amazing. So I plan on doing that again. Probably in this house again. We were hoping to be out of here, but we'll see. I had trouble, my placenta got stuck as well. So you have contractions to get your placenta out. Most people's placentas come out right after their baby. It did with my first one. It did not with my daughter. It was like suctioned to my uterus still. And so I kept pushing. I mean, it was my husband's bonding on the couch with our new daughter. I'm in the pool trying to push my placenta out. I can't get it out. I get out of the pool and I sit on the birth stool and I'm trying to push and it's not coming out. And my main midwife is in front of me and she's like, I'm just gonna have to like pull it out. It's been in there too long at this point. And so the other attending midwife, who's like 90 pounds soaking wet, God bless her, I'm sitting on the stool, but again, as I'm pushing, it hurts. So I'm trying to stand up and run away from the pain. She's got her arms under my armpits like this, holding me up. I'm easily 2.5 times her size. While my midwife is like as far up in there as she needs to be, like scooping it out of me. And then I threw up again because it was so painful. So that really sucked. I don't know how to prevent that. I probably need to look that up. I'm not really sure what happened. It wasn't bleeding. There wasn't any complications with it. There wasn't any issues. Once we got it out, she fully inspected it to make sure there was nothing wrong. And like I said, it wasn't even fully like attached, I don't think. It was just like suctioned weirdly. So that happened. Once the baby was born, someone called my stepmom. She came over and got my son and took him for breakfast since he was like awake from me screaming. And he came back at lunch and he's never been apart from her since. So if I can recommend anything, when you have a new baby, interrupt your current children's life as little as possible, because he has been in love with her since day one. He's never known any different. He was there when she was born, and I think that's so cool. So yeah, I had an amazing team. They cleaned my house and made me breakfast in bed before they left. So it doesn't really get any better than that. So yeah, like I said, I'll probably make another video about this current baby that I'm pregnant with. Although I don't really have any information. I don't do a lot of prenatal visits because I don't do a lot of prenatal visits. And I don't really share my due date and stuff because I did with my first and I went